USC fresh off a 9-win regular season, and they have their QB back for this coming season. Jade Maiava announcing last month he will return to L.A. His third campaign as a Trojan, was the full-time starter for the first time this past season, was quite good. 12th in the nation in passing efficiency, throwing 24 TDs while rushing for 6 more. USC still has one non-conference game to fill in. They have already announced meetings with Fresno State and Louisiana, so only 11 games here. Trojans have a tough conference slate. All 3 of the Big Ten's playoff teams from a season ago, though the Oregon and Ohio State games are at home in weeks 4 and 9, respectively. They're at Penn State and Wisconsin in consecutive road games, though there is a bye in between. In fact, no Pacific Conference school makes trips to the Eastern or Central time zones for consecutive games without a bye separating those trips. So remember, they do have that open non-conference game for now, no Notre Dame, and that's the reason. It's a byproduct of that. It'll be interesting to see who they place in there as that final non-conference. But putting that aside, what else stands out about what on paper seems pretty challenging?
Right. I mean, for USC, they always look to challenge themselves, both in the non-conference and, of course, now within the Big Ten. There's going to be all those challenges that await the Trojans on a consistent basis. But with Gary Patterson officially being the defensive coordinator at this point, got a lot of experience calling his games, covering his teams in the past. And I do think stylistically he'll suit what USC already has in tow, because he loves defensive backs and athletic linebackers, and that's what's already been there in Lincoln Riley's time running Trojans football. So I referenced earlier the matchup between Oregon and USC that's going to take place, just over a month into the season, week 4. That one's going to be an exciting game, because by then the Ducks will have a sense for how USC is operating on each side of the football. But Jade Maiava, all the experience that he brings to the table, was already one of the most productive quarterbacks in the country with his arm. And we saw later in the season with his legs as well. The opportunity to develop at this level in Lincoln Riley's offense really excites me.
I'm with you. And you mentioned the Oregon game. I like Oregon and Washington. I think those 2 games early on, you get them both at home, it really sets the tone here for USC. If you win those games and you can put yourself, you'll be really high in the rankings at that point. And then can this be a special season coming off what was a 9-win campaign a year ago for USC? Iowa also a 9-win team this past season, a year that saw Kirk Ferentz pass Woody Hayes, become the Big Ten's all-time winningest coach. Did it with a victory over UMass in September. I believe Ant was on the call for that one, as I recall. Ferentz and the Hawkeyes finished off their 13th consecutive winning season by taking down Vanderbilt in the ReliaQuest Bowl. Finished the season ranked 17th in the nation. As for 2026, Iowa's annual Cy-Hawk battle is at home in week 2. A challenging stretch on paper to start conference play at Michigan, home against Ohio State, and then in Seattle against Washington. The Hawks' last 6 games might make fans think they have returned to the old Big Ten West, as they face all of their former divisional opponents in that stretch, culminating in their annual Black Friday battle against Nebraska. To me, those first 3 conference games set the tone there, Ant. That's a tough stretch.
It really is. And I mean, when you think about the way that Iowa's schedule works out, because they've lost some guys on the offensive line, that's where having depth at running back is going to matter so much for Iowa. So Kamari Moulton returning, Xavier Williams being back in the lineup, even recruiting additional running back talent via the transfer portal. The depth that they've now been able to showcase, especially in recent seasons in the backfield, they've been able to withstand injuries at running back and put other productive players in the lineup. And when you're going to have a first-year starter at quarterback, perhaps Jeremy Hicklinski, we'll see if that ends up for sure being the case, but that'll allow a bit of a soft landing spot. When you can run the rock in the way that Iowa's really shown since Tim Lester's taken over their running game, getting back to where we expect a Kirk Ferentz football team being, now that'll give them that ability to ramp up, especially with as rigorous as their schedule looks.
To me, the growth in the passing game was huge last year, particularly late in the season. It felt like Mark Gronowski got better, maybe got healthier, honestly, as it went on. So can you continue that? But as you said, a team that proved they can run the ball. They have a good stable of backs to do it as they look to get into the CFP for the first time. Illinois trying to do the same thing. Again, a really good year, maybe felt slightly short of their goals, but fans in Champaign are in for a treat this coming season. How about the new video board? The Illini Athletic Department is set to install the biggest in the country, and it's not even close. About 60% larger than the next largest one, which is Auburn. The next 3 most expansive boards are in the Big Ten. Purdue, Oregon, and Michigan. The Illini will unveil that board at home against UAB. They open conference play in Columbus, the battle for the Illabuck, before battling Purdue at home the next week for the Cannons. So a couple trophy games back-to-back. Other conference home games include Oregon, Nebraska, and Iowa. They finish up Big Ten play against rival Northwestern in Evanston. Really good last 2 years, 19 wins. Ohio State and Oregon obviously are challenging games, no doubt. They're all challenging games, not to minimize any of them. But I still think, Ant, you look here, I think there's opportunities for Illinois to have another really good year.
And the continuity at coordinator matters a lot for Brett Bielema. You know, Barry Lunning running the offense, Aaron Henry running the defense, and especially with the length of the season at this point. Like you referenced earlier, it's not a season that's going to have multiple bye weeks in it because of how it relates to Labor Day. But still, when you get to those latter stages, the Illini are a team that I think should be considered for, you know, kind of an outside shot as we view it right now until getting a better sense for personnel. But CFP hopes there. Later in the season, in Week 12, they're going to face the Iowa Hawkeyes, another program, CFP hopes, and that could end up being a really pivotal clash between Brett Bielema and his Illini versus Brett Bielema's alma mater, former employer, the Iowa Hawkeyes. Each of those programs, once you get to that point in the season, that could be a game, and especially for the Illini perspective, coming off of that road game at UCLA, so you're going to have to travel from out west and have to be ready to face a really physical Hawkeye squad. Fascinated
to see how Caton Hazard does at quarterback. Luke Altmaier was so good here, particularly over the last couple of years. But again, a program with a ton of momentum, won back-to-back bowl games, first time in nearly 15 years. Speaking of teams that win bowl games, how about the Minnesota Golden Gophers? 8 or more victories for the fourth time in 5 years. As usual, the season culminated with a bowl win for PJ Fleck's crew. He is 7-0 in bowl games as Minnesota's head coach, meaning he has been on the sidelines for fully half of the school's all-time bowl victories. Wow. They've now won 9 straight bowl games overall. That's the nation's longest active streak, the longest run in Big Ten history. Minnesota, one of several Big Ten teams squaring off with an SEC team. In the non-conference, they welcome Mississippi State in Week 2. That is 9 days after a Thursday night opener against Eastern Illinois. They kick off conference play at Washington. Their conference home opener comes on the opening weekend of October as they face Michigan. That is for the Little Brown Jug. Other conference home games include Iowa, UCLA, and Northwestern. They visit Wisconsin in the season-ending battle for the Axe, become a very solid, dependable program under PJ Fleck, and this is a schedule that gives them a chance to continue that.
I really feel like it's underappreciated the way that PJ Fleck has challenged his football team in the non-conference slate. You mentioned that Mississippi State game, and on an annual basis, we see Minnesota willing to face a team from an ACC or from the SEC. I mean, a power conference foe for the Gophers on an annual basis during the non-conference slate that helps to prepare PJ Fleck's team to face the Big Ten Conference. So you've already had a rigorous test in the non-con before getting into conference play, and I love that, especially because they'll have quarterback returning as a starter in Drake Lindsey, one of the most talented running backs in the conference in Darius Taylor coming back as well. And so when you have those two positions, I mean, you could really argue that combination is amongst the most gifted in the conference. And I think that for PJ Fleck to know that about his squad, that particular game in the non-conference against Mississippi State, I really love the story that could end up telling for the Gophers, because we've seen some up and down, some inconsistency at times, but that could end up being a big win, not only for the Gophers, but maybe perception reverberations for the Big Ten and the Southeastern Conference.
To me, have to get better on the offensive line. I think that's the challenge. I think they would readily acknowledge that. But again, as you said, a lot of pieces. Anthony Smith coming back too on the defensive line. So a lot of pieces falling into place